Hi there, my name is Jen, and I am on a journey of transformation, self-discovery, and self-love. And I would love for you to join me on that journey. So come on. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Perfectly Imperfect with Jen Hills, where I share all the things that I'm doing to change my life, one meal, one day, one step at a time. And I didn't think I would remember the intro, but I did. I remembered it, even though it's been a long time since I've posted. Here I am. This is my 1 year anniversary since I began this journey to change my life. And here we are 1 year later. It's a little surreal. I'm not gonna lie. And I definitely thought I would be someplace different than I am right now. In some ways, but in other ways not. And so we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk about that in my video. We're gonna share some of my stats, where I am 1 year after I began the journey. Talk about where I was 1 year ago and what made me decide one more time to try again to succeed at changing my life, changing my eating habits and my health habits, and what the future looks like. So we're gonna talk about the past, the present, and the future, and kind of talk about all of those things that I've been dealing with this past year on this journey. And hopefully it will give you some encouragement and inspiration to make changes in your life, whatever those may be. August 17th, 2020, I had decided that I needed to do something different. I weighed 300 pounds, over 300 pounds, 330 pounds, 331 to be exact. Sometimes I was 333. Different places I have a different number, between 331 and 333, depending on which app I use, which app I log into to see what my starting weight was. But I had lost weight many times. I went on my first weight loss journey in 2000 when I was 25. I did Weight Watchers for the first time. And my diet history, I'm really successful at the beginning, within the first 5-6 months. And then I either lose momentum, I go back to eating old ways, eating old habits, and then I gain it all back. That has been my history for most of my adult life. I've been overweight my whole life. I remember being young and my mom trying to put me on diets, but I never really I never really formally tried to lose weight until that 2000 when I did Weight Watchers for the very first time. And I was great. I lost like 75 pounds. I never made it to Wonderland, but I was very close. And then I met my husband. And then we got married, and my husband was severely morbidly obese, and he liked to eat. And so I went back to old ways and I gained it all back. Then I think I did Weight Watchers a couple times after we were married. I would lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, stop eating, stop watching what I ate, and then I would gain it back. And I did that until about 2010. When I finally decided, after 6 years of thinking about it, I finally decided in 2010 to have weight loss surgery. I had a gastric banding in 2010, and I lost about 80 pounds after that. And I was about 230, was my lowest in 2011. It took me about a year to get to about 230. And then, or maybe 215. I have this little notebook here that I go through it, and I don't know, I don't all have the dates. Oh, this was 1999. Remember I told you my highest weight was in 1999? That's when I started Weight Watchers, in 1999. I found this little book with some measurements. This is analog. This is old school, people, before there were cell phones and stuff like that, before I had a cell phone. And I have some other dates, like I don't know what year that was, but I was that weight. And then 04 is probably when I started another Weight Watchers, when I thought, I don't need surgery, I'm gonna do it. And that's about right, because in 2010, I finally decided to have the surgery. So I got to 308 and 292 in April. So this was probably Weight Watchers again. And then I think I had given up. 05, January 05, I started again. I was 281. Anyway, yeah, and so there we are. That's kind of my weight loss story, up and down, up and down, up and down. 2010, when I weight loss surgery, I did really well, and then I got pregnant, and that kind of derailed me, and I've been struggling ever since I had my baby in 2012. In 2017, I did keto, but I always went back. And so if you are an American woman, well, I don't even think it's an American. I think if you're a woman or a human and have struggled with obesity, your story is very similar to mine. It's hard work. I don't think people who have not struggled with obesity understand what it is like to be us. That I had this conversation, I probably had this conversation many times. You know, when you're an alcoholic, you can abstain from alcohol. When you're a drug abuser, you can abstain. You know, whatever your addiction is, whatever your vice is, other than food, you can abstain, but we really can abstain from food. And, you know, different people might argue with me, but I know that I'm right. So it really is a daily struggle for us who are dealing with a food addiction or disordered eating, trying to figure out a way ahead. And so I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting over my diet mentality of a goal, of hitting a goal quickly, and then getting to some magical place where I'll be happy. It's a magical scale number where where everything will be right and I'll have succeeded, and realizing that this is a constant journey, recognizing my slopes, my slippery slopes where I'm sliding back into a different disordered eating, binge eating, and kind of recognizing those things, those cues that help me, that derail me from moving forward. So that's kind of where I was in August 17th, 2020, when I've had all this past failure. And that really weighed heavily upon me, the idea that I had tried and had lost and had gained and had lost and had gained. That was a very big weight that I was carrying, a very big burden, a failure that I was carrying. And it was talking with my friend, my neighbor, who said, you know, why can't you give yourself a little bit of the love that you give other people so generously? And something clicked, and I was like, I'm letting go of this burden. I'm letting go of this past failures, and I'm starting over, and I'm going to do this one more time, and I'm not going to fail. There's no going back. There's no failing. And so I decided, and so something that has worked for me is keto diet, ketogenic diet. If you don't know what that is, Google it. The basic premise is that it's a high protein, low carb, high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet that helps you stay satiated. Because when you have a food addiction like I do, and many of us do, the feeling of hunger causes us to panic and make bad choices. For me, it does. I can go without food for a long time, but when I get to a point where I am hungry, I go off the rails and often binge. And so those are the things that I have to work on, is that I do overeat, not continually, but in segments, and I have to watch myself and those cues when I will binge. So I decided to do keto, and I did great. As you guys know, follow me on my journey. About 9 weeks in, I thought, hey, maybe I should take some measurements other than my weight. I just weighed myself. I never took any measurements. I never started videoed. I never took photographs. I never did anything of that. I think because I thought I was going to fail. I probably thought that I wasn't going to be successful again. And so what was the point? Which I do regret. So if you're going to start your journey, make sure you take photos and videos. So about 9 weeks in about October, I decided to start taking pictures. I started making videos on YouTube, and I was doing really great with those. And in the first 6 months, I lost 50 pounds very easily. And looking back on my weight loss journey, that's my pattern. As I lose 50, 80 pounds very easily, and then I stall and I go back and I quit. And so that's where we are a year later. I'm a little bit right around 70 pounds lost. And it has been hard since about February, since about 6 months. It took me, I've lost 20 pounds in 6 months. I lost 50 pounds in a year. I lost 50 pounds in 6 months. And then the last 6 months, I've lost 20 pounds. So it's like really slowed down. Part of that is because I have had many diet breaks. There's been a little bit of diet fatigue that I've been dealing with, and then I'm going up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I have decided that I'm going to have to be okay with that in order to have some kind of quality life where I don't feel like I'm in complete deprivation nonstop. I'm going to have to be okay with going very slow. And in the next year, I may only lose 30 pounds. And I have to be okay with that because I cannot live my best life constantly tracking and monitoring everything that goes in my mouth. So my way forward is that I will 80% of the time track my food and keep it to a calorie deficit and track my carbs. And then there are going to be times like this past weekend where I'm just going to enjoy myself, but not binging. For me, my weakness is binging. So when I say enjoy myself, that means I'm going to go to a restaurant, and if I see something that I like on the menu, I'm going to get it. And then I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to be okay with it. Sometimes I'll eat half of it. Like we went to brunch Saturday morning, and I had lobster, what's it called? Eggs Benedict, but with lobster. It was delicious, but I only ate half of it that morning, and then I ate the half that evening. So I halved it, half a meal. So I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm not gonna go off the rails and stop monitoring my food or my weight, because we're not going back to 300 pounds, but it is going to take me longer to get to Wonderland than I had anticipated. I had hoped I would be at Wonderland by my birthday, but it's not going to happen. I had hoped I was hoping for 100 pounds at 1 year. Did not happen. But 70 pounds is nothing to laugh at. 70 pounds is still amazing and is still very respectable. So let's talk about some of the things, some of my whys, why I did this, and where we are with that. So one of my whys was I was in pain. At 330 pounds, I couldn't get on the floor. I couldn't get up off the floor. I couldn't kneel down. I couldn't go, I couldn't fit in a lot of places like booths at restaurants. Uncomfortable. I had to really be cautious of my size and the limitations of my size in public spaces. Our public spaces are not fat friendly, and I know there's some people out there who want more fat acceptance and want our public spaces to change. But until that time, that's just I'm just uncomfortable in public spaces, and so that has changed. 70 pounds has I can fit in booths, no problem. We go to a restaurant, they put us in a booth, don't even think about it. Fit very nicely. My husband and I can fit very nicely. Have it's really kind of amazing to have room. It's great. I'm not in pain anymore. I had horrible plantar fasciitis, sciatica. My muscles hurt constantly. I have no pain in my body except my knee. I tore my meniscus within the last couple days. It's been acting up. But other than that, I can do things physically without pain, and I'm just not in pain constantly, right? I'm not, my muscles aren't inflamed and constantly in pain. One thing that I learned from keto that I continue to do is sugar-free. To the best of my ability, I will try to remain sugar-free 90% of the time. I won't, even when for holidays and stuff, I'm going to try to have sugar-free options, just because sugar for me is my drug of choice. And I'm going to just have to deal with that the rest of my life. I can't eliminate sugar. That's one thing that I can't eliminate from my diet. And I'm going to do my best to continue to lead a sugar-free life. Because I think sugar has so many triggers for me. It triggers me to want more food. It triggers me to want more sweets. So I'm doing okay with my erythritol, stevia, monk fruit kind of sweetener. And we're doing good. So, it's not to say I'll never have sugar again. I'm just going to have to be very conscious of it and monitor it and how much I allow into my body. So I'm pain-free. Another great bucket list item, goal that I had was roller coasters. So my girls are 9 and 10 and they are roller coaster junkies, especially my youngest. She's crazy. And we love to go to theme parks. It's something our family really enjoys doing. And there were a couple rides I couldn't fit on. Most of the rides I couldn't fit on at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, where we went just this past week. And I remember this one ride called Bolton. I had tried to ride it. Probably I was around 300 pounds. And I got there and I had to get off the ride because I couldn't fit and they made me leave the ride. And that was a little humiliating, to say the least. But you know what? I rode it. I rode Bolton this last week with my goddaughter. Here we are, riding it front row. And I was a little nervous. I tried the seat out beforehand and it because they have like the little sample seats you can see was green or red. So I rode that one. I rode another ride with my daughter who was so happy. She was so worried that it wasn't going to fit. She had so much anxiety for me. And so there were a couple rides still. I need to lose probably about 30 more pounds, a couple more rides that I can't fit. So we're going back hopefully maybe October, just definitely December. Hopefully by then we're going to have it all good. We're going to have everything and I'll be cleared for all the rides. I'll be able to ride all of them. A couple things I'm still waiting for: horseback riding. You have to be under 250 to go horseback riding. That's coming in the spring. We have a trip planned with horseback riding. And so I'm looking forward to hitting that goal to go horseback riding with my daughters in March, April. But I hit my roller coaster goal. There was another ride that I rode that I couldn't fit on before. And there was like 3 or 4 rides. And it's just so much more comfortable. There's turnstiles. I could just get in and get out of rides. It was so hard lifting this body because you have to get really down low and you have to pull yourself up. Before it was just, it was hard work. Even the rides that I could fit in and that I was uncomfortable and people couldn't sit beside me. It just was so much easier moving. I had so much more range of motion. And it was just overall an amazing experience to be at the theme park in like 100-degree weather and be able to ride everything and to be able to enjoy myself and just have a wonderful time with my daughter. So I am so proud of myself. And to me, that goal, hitting that goal, is more important than anything a scale can say. Being able to enjoy life with my daughters and my husband and to be able to do things physically that I was physically incapable of doing is the biggest success that you and I can have on whatever journey you're on. Ooh, I did not know I was going to cry. You probably did. That's worth it. And so, I'm trying not to focus on numbers on a scale. But they're there. It's a good measure. It's another tool, but it's not the only tool. So I have to change some of my internal dialogue and some of my external dialogue when I talk about, I only lost 70 pounds in a year. Like it's some kind of failure. It's not. It takes as long as it takes. And we just keep moving forward. And whatever your number is, it is what it is. And you just keep plugging along because you in it to win it. You stay in the game. You do the work. It will pay off eventually. There's no set timeline for any of us. We will get there. We will get there. And we are worthy of the work that it takes. We're worthy of the forgiveness that it takes to give yourself, to get up one more time and to keep going. It is only failure if you stop trying. And I am not going to stop trying. So let's look at some photos. So here's some pictures.
The side by side of me at 6 months and me at 1 year. If you look, you can see a difference between the two.
And here is a photo of beginning 6 months and today. You can really see the difference in my midsection and face.
And this is just a little fun video my husband took of me outside.
Pictures are amazing. I really wish I had taken more pictures at the beginning, but you can see the change in my body. Sometimes it's hard to notice. That's why it's really good to go back and look at old photos and side by side. And yeah, so I can't wait to see. I have some, I don't know what I'm going to do for my fall wardrobe. I'm wearing dresses that are too big here. I have a couple things that I've gotten from friends who are also losing weight, but opportunity to go shopping. Who wants to do fall shopping with me? So let's look at the numbers because I do have some numbers. So when I first took my measurement at 9 weeks, my waist was 55, my chest was 48, and my hips were 64. And I think I was, I don't know the weight I was. I think I had lost 20 pounds by then. So it was like right around 300 maybe at about 9 weeks. So today my measurements are 47 waist, lost 8 inches. My chest 42, lost 6 inches. By the way, I just had to go buy a whole new mess of bras. And my hips are 57 inches. That gives me a total inches loss of 21 inches on my body. That's 2 feet, almost 2 feet. I've lost 21 inches on this whole body. Yes, that's pretty awesome. And my weight loss is at 67.3 pounds. I weighed in at 263.8. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit more than that because my husband and I have had a child-free weekend. We went to the National Harbor and had a hotel room, went to a casino, went out and ate, and had a little bit of drinks, and I'm a little bit of bloater right now. So I'm about, let me do the math real quick. I got about 8 pounds of bloat. Oh, not 8, 6. I have about 6 pounds of bloat going on right now. So I'm a little bit more than 263, but we're just gonna say 263. That's how much I weighed before I left. So we're at 263.8, which is 67.3 pounds lost in a year. And I will take all of that because my experience has given me more of a reward than that number on a scale. So here we are, 1 year out. I am so thankful for all you people in real life and who I've never met, who are following my journey, who are cheering me on, who are encouraging me. I really hope that you're getting some encouragement too, and understand that you are so important, that you have value, that you are worthy no matter what number on that scale says. You're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you deserve love right now, and you deserve all the best life has to give you right now, regardless of a number on a scale. I'm doing this not because I want to find value or worth, but because I want to enrich my life, because there are things I want to do and places that I want to go and clothes I want to wear and just experiences that I want to have. You know, maybe I want to do skiing. I've been thinking about that recently. There's no way I could ski at this weight, but maybe one day we'll do skiing. There's a couple things that I have on my bucket list that we're going to see about doing. So horseback riding in the spring is the next big one. And roller coasters again when we go to Busch Gardens again in the winter, fall, you know, Christmas Town, stuff like that. So here we are, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. I don't know when I'm going to post again. Come find me on Instagram. I'm more regular on Instagram than I am in YouTube. Come find me on Instagram. Follow me there. And I post some food that I eat. I post pictures of myself and my family. I would love to have you follow me on Instagram. Until my next YouTube video, I want you to love one another. But most importantly, love yourself. You are worthy of everything that you have to give yourself. All right, friends, thank you so much for following me and joining me on my journey. Bye-bye.